James Harden expected to wear a Houston Rockets uniform despite his ongoing demand to be traded. He did participate in training camp yesterday, and new head coach Stephen Silas says he will play in their preseason game tonight against the Spurs. According to our Adrian Wojnarowski and Ramona Shelburne, Harden has informed the team nothing's changed. He still wants out of Houston and is not interested in teaming up with the newly acquired John Wall. Stephen A. Smith coming back to discuss the Harden drama. But first, here is Silas on his conversation with James Harden before practice yesterday.
We had a good conversation, and I'm just going to leave it at that. You can ask him about his commitment and all that sort of thing. But we had a good conversation. He was locked in. He was asking good questions. He's bringing up good points. We had a good discussion. He'll play tomorrow, and we'll figure out the minutes tomorrow. As far as his commitment to what we're doing basketball-wise, he was right there. As far as the rumors and all the other stuff I can't speak to, really hasn't been that much of a distraction. I mean, it's been something that the media has been talking about quite a bit, and I've had to answer a lot of questions about. As far as our growth and our kind of pushing forward this season, we've kind of been right on pace, and now adding him and PJ to the mix just makes it better.
Stephen A. Smith back with us here on SportsCenter. We're 8 days away from the Rockets season opener against the Thunder. What should Houston do with the situation surrounding James Harden right now?
Well, ultimately, you've got to move him. He doesn't want to be there. You can't have your star, one of the elite scorers this game has ever seen, disgruntled and in your locker room on a night-in, night-out basis. We don't like it, especially when you got a guy like Stephen Silas as your new coach who waited 20 years as an African-American being an assistant coach before finally getting this job. But nevertheless, that's where James Harden stands. That's how he feels. Now, you don't want to move him for anything less than equitable compensation. That means numerous players and in all likelihood, numerous picks to go with it. And that's certainly what the Houston Rockets should be looking towards. What they shouldn't be thinking about is keeping him for the entire season. He does not want to be there. And if you have a superstar and he doesn't want to be there, and he makes that clear, if you end up keeping him against his will, what you've done is sent the message that this is how you're going to treat your stars, and that's going to make others reluctant to come to your franchise. Tillman Fertitta and the Houston Rockets know this, and they're going to have to act accordingly. They're going to have to find a way to get him up out of there.
Okay, now timing. With Giannis deciding to stay in Milwaukee today, now the rumors of the Harden trade and his future, those will ramp up. Where would be the best destination when it comes to an actual deal lining up on both sides?
Long term, I would tell you the Philadelphia 76ers, if you can get with Joel Embiid, Seth Curry, and some of the other parts that Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey has surrounded Joel Embiid with. But for the short term, I would tell you it's the Brooklyn Nets, because I believe right now, when you consider the moves that the Los Angeles Lakers have made in the offseason with Schrader and Gasol and Montrezl Harrell and others, I think that the Lakers are the clear prohibitive favorites, and the only franchise that would have a chance of beating them in an NBA Finals is Harden joining KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn. If that doesn't happen, I will stand here right now and tell you no one in the NBA has a chance of knocking off the healthy Los Angeles Lakers squad led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It ain't happening. The only hope is for Harden to end up in Brooklyn and KD and Kyrie to have him with them. Other than that, we will be crowning the Lakers as champions again next summer.
My goodness, that would be a big three in Brooklyn. By the way, you mentioned all the Sixers players, but you did not mention Ben Simmons, so I imagine he would be involved in the trade. I'm just making sure, right?
Yes. He would have to go. Ideally, you would love him with Harden and Embiid, but you'd have to be boo-boo the fool to trade James Harden to Philadelphia and don't get Ben Simmons in return. That would be one of the most ignorant moves I've seen in quite some time if that would have happened.
이번에 준비한 영상 시청해주셔서 정말 감사하고 앞으로 더 흥미롭고 유익한 NBA 내용으로 돌아오겠습니다. 영상 재밌게 보셨다면 구독과 좋아요 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.